we are back. Welcome to Off the Leash, episode 22. After we took a slight pause for Royal Ascot, we are back in the thick of things and a massive week in the sport of greyhound racing. Of course, the Ground Derby on Saturday night, and we're going to tackle the big action from Sunderland on Friday night. Before that, we're in open class company, Derby class company, as ever. Tony Bullen of the Racing Post joins us. Tony, how's your form?
Yeah, not too bad. It's just as good as the weather, warm.
They say absence makes the heart grow fonder. We have missed you because you left us with a plethora of winning tips, including Magical Blueberry we'll get on to, New Destiny as well. Two big finals that we are going to look back on before we look forward to the action on Friday night at Sunderland. But it just keeps on coming. We seem to say every single show, the big races, big finals, big action, week after week after week.
Yeah, well, we've finally got a structure, which we've mentioned in previous shows. And with a structure, you've got trainers prepping their dogs at the right time instead of scratching around wondering if an event's going to take place, is there a sponsor? We've finally got a structure from January to December.
Absolutely, and it makes everything easier, whether you're planning podcasts or you're handling a kennel and a team of superstars. It helps just map out the year. Right, we will look back before we look forward. Do remember, of course, that you are joining us here on the Racing Post YouTube channel. Loads of action and content for you to get stuck into. If you like horse racing, loads of that. Loads of stuff on the Euros as well. So do remember to like, comment and subscribe. And a big thank you to everyone with their kind messages. More towards Tony than myself of all the winners he's been putting your way. But do get in touch with us. Put a note in the comments below who you're backing, who you've backed, who you've followed, dogs to look out for, absolutely anything. We'll try and get through them throughout the next few shows. Right, we will go to Romford then. A couple of weeks ago, Friday nights, New Destiny was hunting that elusive big title. She'd been anti-post favourite for every single competition she'd turned up in. She smashed out in opening round heat. She did the business in her semi-final. Could she do it in the final? Well, could she? She broke the track record. This was absolutely brilliant. From track one, it's 34.53. Cooladeri Dust back in second, track four. Untold Panga in track two, finishing third. But this was over very, very quickly, and this was very, very impressive, Tony.
Yeah, it was over after the first two bends, Dave. I was always more confident her being drawn inside. I was rather her be bang on the rails rather than out in the middle because she could get crowded out. But she's held her position, and that's the thing. In the first round, she posted an extremely fast time because she got off the front. Semi-final, she had to dig deeper, but the final, she broke the track record, and she's a joy to watch. I mean, she's got it all. Obviously, that inconsistency at the start can be a bit of a hindrance, as it has throughout her career, but she's got this win under her belt now. That first piece of silverware is in the cabinet, and I'm sure there'll be a bit more to be added.
Yeah, no news just yet on where we might see her. Obviously, the Premier Grand Racing Regency at Hove is not too far away, 695 metres. Not sure if this is going to be that one or maybe the Summer Stayers Classic at Monmore. All the action, of course, will be live on the Premier Greyhound Racing Service behind the red button on Sky Sports Racing. So I've no doubt you'll see her at one of those. I think Monmore probably favour over Hove. Where would you go, Tony, if she was yours?
More similar, no run to the turn, so they won't get away from her. That short run to the turn, it suits any short run to the bend. If you can hold your position on the inside, you've got an advantage.
Yeah, and that Summer Stayers Classic, we've seen some rather interesting seeding in recent years, which would certainly echo your thoughts there as well. Right, we'll move on then. We go from 6 bends to 2 bends because the action was fast and furious. It was, of course, the most lucrative sprint competition of the year. The Arc Kent Silver Salver finished at Central Park 2 weeks ago on Saturday night even. And it was a hell of a story, the winner coming from here. Bill Russell, 93 years old, out of Perry Bar. Now, very much a family operation. I think his son and his granddaughter, Mark and Emily, were on site. They collected the trophy, but this was absolutely brilliant. Heartbreak for me, having been on my Lenny anti-post at 25-1. But this, again, was one that you put up, Tony, not just anti-post, but also going into the final as well. Magical Blueberry in track 4, 16.24. My Lenny in the stripes, finishing second. And Droopy Standard was back in third in track 1. And he broke, and the right was on the ball into the corner.
It was a great buckle because Mike Lenny's found his trapping boots Connections must have been pleased when the boxes opened and saw My Lenny flash the lids, but unfortunately Magical Blue Bear also countered the move. And the thing that I touched on, he was always going to get better with each look round. It's no good going close to the clock in the heats and the semis. It's in the final that matters most. And as you say, what a credit to Connections, because sprinters can be really highly strung. So for the trainer to be in his 90s, he must have a bit of strength about him. And Magical Blue Bear did the business, run a lovely bend, and that was the winning move, inside line.
Yeah, that was absolutely brilliant from Magical Blue Bear, and hopefully we'll see him onwards and upwards. I know they've been on their travels. I think they took in opens on home sort Perry Bar. I think they've been to Swindon. They've obviously been down to Central Park, which is certainly not around the corner. So a Greyhound to look out for. Certainly be making waves over 2 bends. Right, that was the past. Now let's look forward to Friday night at Sunderland. Now, big meeting at Sunderland on Friday night, because you've got not only the £7,500 ARC Puppy Cup finals, the Stars of the Future on the show, but also a special meeting in memory of Harry Williams, who was a top trainer in the North, Tony.
Yeah, I mean, he had anyone familiar, his prefix was the Pond. He had the Pond prefix, and I mean, you can look back at the history of the dogs that Harry's had the pleasure of training. Very nice person as well, and he had the Allerdale Bruno. It was only a Sunderland grader, and that's how good Harry was. He saw something in that dog and felt that he could go and win the Classic with him at Sunderland, and the grader turned Classic winner, and that's how good he was with a dog. Yeah,
so hopefully all will have an enjoyable evening on Friday night remembering Harry. One of the feature races is a race named in his honour, along with Blue Artisan. He was an absolute champion that he trained as well. We'll get on to that, but we'll go to the feature race first. Now, we'll look back on last week's semi-finals, and we'll start with semi-final 1, which was not won by No Better Feeling in 26.76 in trap 3. And it was the fastest winner. Untold Ruble was in trap 1. New in Solely was in trap 6. We'll take it up at the second turns. There was trouble, and Keithville Rocky took a tumble. I've spoken to trainer Phil Milner. All is well. The dog will actually be trialling this weekend, so thankfully all is well there. We'll pick this up at the second turn, but he's got a little something about him, this dog, hasn't he? Chris Faraday's charge. He starts and he stays.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's normally Sunderland, you want a smash and grab type of dog that can cut loose, and if there is any jostling, they normally find themselves 4 lengths clear off the second bend. But in the case of No Better Feeling, he's a dog that picks up the pace from halfway. He got a lovely run on the inside, showed a nice pace to hit the front going into that third bend, and you saw what he's strong. He pulled further and further clear. He showed he's an above average salt, Dave. He ran third, I think, in the gym crack at Sheffield behind the Wiki Ned, a race that's working out pretty well.
Absolutely, and the ground that finished second in that final we're about to see as well, because it was Droopy's Extra Good who finished second in the Jim Crack up at Sheffield behind Wiki Ned and in front of No Better Feeling. 26.76, incidentally, was the winning time there, just to reiterate. That was fastest of the first semis. Now, we'll see all of this one. Keithville Maverick, 26.99, the winner in the red jacket for Phil Milner. The aforementioned Droopy's Extra Good did finish second, and third was Slingshot Ali at a big price as well. What did you make of this one, Tony?
Yeah, he showed good early pace in the first round, the Slingshot Alley dog, and he tried to take the sting out of these in the semi-finals. The problem is he needed a little bit of trouble in behind because he's vulnerable to a stronger running salt. Droopy's Extra Good ran okay, but Keithville Maverick was by far and away the quickest in the race. The only concern with him, he's not a bang railer. He gives dogs on the inside of him plenty of room by moving off, but boy, has he got a bit of all-round pace and strength, and he ran similar race to what he did in the first round coming from off the speed. So he's a big player, but that move in middle is a concern.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it unfolds on Friday night. The final, 14 minutes past 9, £7,500 ARC Puppy Cup final at Sunderland. It'll be live on the Premier Greyhound Racing Service. It will be a digital-only meeting, that one, so you'll be able to pick it up on the bookmakers' streams, and also they're trying hard to show that one live on Sky Sports Racing as well. So wherever you go, you'll be able to pick up the feature race, the final, 14 minutes past 9. Let's have a look at the draw then. And we've got a favourite in trap 3, Untold Ruble, but it will be No Better Feeling on the inside in trap 1. There's 4 railers, Keithville Maverick in 2, Untold Ruble in 3, Droopy's Extra Good in 4, Slingshot Alley, middle, at 25 to 1 in 5. New in Solely, double carpet 33 to 1. Another middle in the stripe. So the betting suggests the outside duo are very much up against it. I'm going to go with 3. I think switching from the inside to the middle might just help Tom Hilbron's Untold Robot out the boxes. So a smash break, we might be able to cut loose and make all. What about yourself, Tony?
Yeah, I mean, 3 was a strong anti-post favourite from the get-go. I mean, made a tremendous start to her career at Doncaster. Trialled him really well for the event, but has yet to put that into practice. The early pizzazz hasn't been there, but it only takes the one occasion for it to be on display. And if it is, then Untold Ruble might show what all the fuss was about. But the fact that No Better Feelings got red and Keyfield Mavericks in 2, I've got to be with No Better Feeling at the prices. You're getting around 11 to 2, 5 to 1, which I think is a big price for a dog that if it did cut up scrappy, he's well equipped to take full advantage. And wherever he turns, whatever turns in behind him are up against it. Keyfield Maverick clearly is a fast dog, but I just think he might hand the advantage to No Better Feeling with that middle course that he does take.
And what sort of price do you think it'll go off? Do you still think it'd be a big price? Or
No, I think I'll make him around a 7 to 2 chance, 3, 7 to 2 for me. I mean, bot 6 will be a reasonable price. It wouldn't surprise me to see little bits of nibbles for 5 if it was a massive price on the basis that he could be the one to catch, but I think 5 needs a bit of trouble in behind. The Droopy's Extra Good dog, he's a similar sort of mould of the No Better Feeling, where he's not really blessed with great early pace. But I suppose the race really does revolve around what 3 does, because if 3 brings the trial form to the plate, to the table, then it's a different race. But I just think Keyfield Maverick, he can win, but I think he might give No Better Feeling a brilliant chance of proving that win in the semis wasn't a flash in the pan.
That trial form is what I'm hoping to see from Trap. They do say trials for show, racing for dough, but we shall see. And you'll be able to watch that 14 minutes past 9 on Friday night. Sunderland, £7,500 up for grabs. Chief support on the card I mentioned will be the 9:32. Have a look at this race as well. No early prices for this one at the time of recording, but it will be the BGBF Harry Williams Blue Artisan British Bred Final. Lap of the track, 450 metres. Black House Allen in 1, Witter Margaret in 2. Then we got 4 middles. The Bulldog, that is the dog's name. Aiken Irene in 4, Aiken Johnny in 5, and Romeo Cypher in 6. Now that Aiken prefix for owner, trainer and breeder Kevin Ferguson, and ever present in these big British bred finals. Do you think Mr. Ferguson will be taking home the spoils here, Tony? How do you see it?
Yeah, I do feel that he will. Obviously, Aiken Irene and Aiken Johnny are little brother and sister, and they both did the business in the first round. It was Aiken Johnny who marginally went quicker, but 478 sectionals are not commonplace with him, whereas Aiken Irene, she's got a brilliant strike rate. I think she can come away nice up the centre. She contested the 3 steps to victory final at Sheffield. Didn't really see out the 6 bends, but Laurel's finalist. She'd been there and worn the t-shirt as Aiken Irene, and if she can come away half decent, I think she'll be holding the upper hand.
Yeah, going to be 2 votes for Aiken Irene then. Nice long run to the corner will suit her as well. I think she can zip away and make all in that final. Reminder that all the action at Sunderland will be on Friday night. Usually Friday night action previewing Romford, but Sunderland this week, the big race action before the weekend is at Sunderland on Friday night. Right, it is that time then, Tony. We're up to episode 22. I've not worked out what your strike rate is, but it is eye-watering to say the least. Winners are plenty. Best bet of the week. Where are we going?
I've gone to Romford on Friday, Dave. In the 8:36, there's a one-off open over the 575 minutes. It's Romford's 95th birthday. So this is called the Romford Stadium 95th Birthday Stakes. And hopefully not only Romford are celebrating, but I'm celebrating with Crossfield Rhea. I just like the way she's run at Monmore in recent weeks over the 4 bends. She's got a season date of February, so she's well into the prime now. She's well into hitting top form, and the step back up to 6 bends I think she will relish. She's got mixed fortunes over the 575, but she's claimed the light sculpts of Kuna Crow. She's running against like Ballymac John Joe's Never Say No, Irons of Sydney, New Destiny. So I think the step up to 575 will be a natural one. Ballantine No Show's a very decent dog when he gets off the front, but I think she'll put serious pressure on Ballantine No Show, crossfield rear. And if we can get similar to New Destiny, hold your pitch on the inside, she's not going to relent at any stage. And Nathan Hunt's bitch, I think, looks the one to beat in the 8:36 at Rumford Friday.
Good stuff, and Nathan been in brilliant form recent weeks and indeed months as well. He seems to be flying, whether it be at Monmore or Romford, dual attached. There, right, I'm going to a familiar face here on Off the Leash, because my best bet of the week is going to be at Crayford on Sunday evening in the 6:26 in the Ladbrokes.com June Guys and Dolls final. So 3 bitches against 3 dogs. And out wide in the stripes, Time to Talk. She's done us a few favours, a real favourite here on the show. She starts on stage, she flies down the back, she's got a great draw, and she will do for me. So Time to Talk, Ricky Holloway's charge in the stripes at Crayford on Sunday night will be my best bet of the week. Right, that wraps up the show. All the action on Friday night that we've previewed. There'll be open racing throughout the weekend on the Premier Greyhound Racing Service. And of course, best of luck to everyone involved in Saturday night's Greyhound Derby final. Biggest week of the year in the sport. So best of luck if you're involved there or you're clutching anti-post tickets. Thank you, Tony, once again for your time and expertise. And do remember that we're looking for Crossfield Bria on Friday night. That's the best bet of the week. Do remember to gamble responsibly. Enjoy the racing this weekend. It's absolutely brilliant. We'll see you next time.